Hello everyone and welcome to another video on Tana. And this time I'm going to introduce some of the new Tana AI features, which I have been lucky enough to have access to for a bit. So I'm recording this video a little bit earlier than the rest of you actually has access. Now, I've been planning a trip to Japan and I'd like to use that sort of context to show some of the new stuff that has been added. And it's kind of cool. So in the first part, let's create a list of airlines. So the most basic GTP feature is let's ask GTP, just give me a list of airlines. So you can see they added a nice new spinner that will show that it's actually working. And in the background, it's actually connecting to OpenAI. I had to enable and start to add my own API key in order to get this to work. So here you have the list, but you can also see like they're numbered and there has this pre-header there, and I actually don't want that. So let's try again. Let's do a list of airline, do not number them, number them, return just the list. And let's do it again. So as you will start to notice, this takes a little bit of doing. So you'll get better and better at actually seeing, hey, what works. So in this case, we have all of these airlines, and now we're gonna just tag them as a add tag, and let's do airline. Let's create a new tag. There we go. So now we have some airlines in there. Cool. Now let's say we will take this and make this a list of airlines because we're not going to use it as a prompt anymore. And let's make this into a show as table. Show view options, and let's say let's make a table. Now, one of the cool things is that as you go here, you can see, of course, you can just add fields. And in this case, one of the fields I want to add is, let's see, like a home base. So where does this airline, where is this based? Now in this case, let's put this on the tag, and let's go into the definition of the field, because I'm actually going to make it an AI enhanced field. And instead of doing anything much, let's just do, and let's see what actually it comes up with. So now you can see this new button. I've made it into an AI advanced field. And if I select this one, it will actually go through the entire list and try and find these things. So before I actually do the entire list, let's see how this actually works. So if we go in, you can also see there's a button here that will just do for this airline. So let's go and click this one. Okay, so now you get Delta Airlines home base is located in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Well, this is exactly what I wanted, but actually I would prefer just to have, in this case, Atlanta. So let's go in and see what we can do. If you click on the field, you can also see that now it is an AI advanced field. You have a certain set of options. You can make it more creative, but I think this was already creative enough. And we can have a custom prompt, and we can also use the more powerful GPT-4 model. But I've noticed that for most of these simple tasks, GPT-3 or actually 3.5 is actually plenty, and it's a lot faster. So let's move into the custom prompt. So if you click here, you can actually write the custom prompt here, but if you use the prompt workbench, it's actually a little bit easier because you can sort of try out until you find the right prompt that works. So let's go into it. Okay, let's go into this prompt workbench and let's say the test content. So let's do some national pride. I'm from the Netherlands, so the most popular airline in the Netherlands is KLM. And let's say the content is, the prompt is, okay, give the home base for the following airline. Example. And in our case, let's do input. This is sort of like a pattern that seems to work really well with when you do the simple input output. So let's do Emirates output Dubai. And let's see. And now you can see this is the prompt, but we still need to figure out where does the KLM part, and then we can actually see. So input we're gonna do, and this is like a title expression. This will actually input the content that you run it on. So in this case, it will be the name of the airline. And then we're gonna do output. And then hopefully, if you test the AI completion, it will say Amsterdam, yes. But you also see here is that it still has the country. So I don't really like that. So let's say, do not mention the country, just the city. Okay, let's try this again. Much better. And we also would love for this city to now be tagged. So give the home base, do not mention the country, just the city, and let's tag the city with, and let's call this a place. So in this case, if we do the input Emirates, output would be Dubai, and let's tag it as a place. So let's see what actually happens. The output would be Amsterdam place. Very cool. Okay, so let's close this because now we're actually done, and we'll go back to the field and let's rerun this. If you actually click it, it will just pre-populate the field, and you'll see it's now Atlanta and a place. And if we go back to our list of airlines, now if we press the AI, it will actually go through each of these and pre-fill them with the place. One of the things that sometimes happens is that one of these things is a little bit slower, or it might time out. But basically, this is like a clear example of how you can use these things. Another really cool feature is if you sort of think, hey, what else would be cool? Because I don't know what to store with an airline. You can actually go in and you can say, suggest AI fields. What happens now is it will send the entire context to OpenAI and say, hey, what would be other cool stuff to put in this table? And it will take a little bit of time. And you can actually, afterwards, if you click here, it will show the frequent flyer program name, or the revenue, or the number of employees, or the number of aircraft in feet. And this seems to work for a wide variety of things, and is very useful. Once you sort of click this, it always is a AI field that can then be also pre-populated, because it also tried to find a prompt there. So in this case, let's see number of destinations or revenue, and you can click it here. And if you go in and actually see, then you can also see what is the name's frequent flyer program. So it will already have created sort of like this prompt that sort of works. So if you click here, it will actually run this according to the name. And then of course we have the same problem, because now again, it sort of it outputs a lot. So in this case, let's go and clear these things. It was a little bit too soon. And we can do the same thing in this case for the frequent flyer program. Go back into the front end parents, check it out. Let's say KLM. What is the name of the frequent? Just return the name of the frequent. Just return the name. Okay. Example. Input. Let's see. And now we get into the part, because actually the only one I know is KLM. So output, I think it's sky blue or something like that. Doesn't matter that much actually. Input, and then we add the name again, and then we show output, and then we wait. So in this case, it will probably say sky blue or flying blue. It's actually flying blue. Okay, so it's even though I gave it, there we go. Flying blue. So now the example is actually correct. And let's also tag this. So, let's do frequent flyer. Flyer program. And tag the name as frequent flyer program. Let's see if it works. Run a request. There we go. And again, like last time, we just go back, and you can see this is a great way to sort of go through all of these things and quickly populate a lot of the stuff that is actually in here. Somehow it also added some empty lines. Maybe it's probably my fault. I didn't see that happens there. And you can also see that some of them now have duplicate frequent flyer lines. So in this case, we are using some of the new Tana features to sort of figure all of this out. I've been using it, for instance, to find and easily see, hey, what are easy destinations for like to go to in Japan? So in this case, I would have a list of cities in Japan that any tourist must see. And then just mention the city names. So let's ask GTP just to do that, and then you'll see that we actually get a list of city names, at least hopefully. Yeah. Again, it's numbering them. So, well, same thing. Let's go back. Do not number them. No. Do not. Let's do that again. Ask GTP. There we go. And now, of course, it separates them by comma. Put each on a separate line. As you can see, it takes some sort of getting used to, but it's also really easy just to go in and retry. And eventually you get it right. So in this case, perfect. Okay, so now we have this list of city names, and what would be the next part? So if you go in and let's create this, so view options, also show this as a table. And then here we get, of course, a new list of what would be cool generated names. But one of the things I'm really like, okay, so famous tourist spots. Basically, I'm just adding this field here, making it into an AI enhanced field, go back and just clicking this. And this is a great way just to get sort of like a basic idea of what to do in each of these cities. So I'm going through these things and I can actually go in. So here you can also see like many of these are a little bit like difficult because sometimes there's a different answer. That's just the way the AI works at this point. I think here you get like a basic idea of how this stuff works. So this is just the first video about the surface level features, and I'll make more videos about more in-depth stuff. For now, I think I'll end it here to show you sort of the basics of how this stuff works. I'm hoping you will enjoy it, and I hope to see you soon.